Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to historic, beautiful downtown Lebanon for the kickoff parade of this Bicentennial. The kickoff parade, that is, John.
That is correct, Mike.
I'm Mike McMurray with the Lebanon Telecommunications Systems. This will be on Channel 6 on your local cable. I'm with John Zimkus, who is part of the Bicentennial this year, history teacher and historian for the Warren County Historical Society. All the work for the last couple of years comes down to this weekend.
That's right. We've been involved in this for 3 years now, and we're finally getting it finished this weekend. And we started off fantastically yesterday with that great Diamond Rio concert.
Last night it was perfect at the Warren County Fairgrounds, a great crowd.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, and Marty Rowe was in his element, home, and put on a great performance. A reminder, the sponsors of the Bicentennial this year, the Western Star, Cincinnati Bell, Synergy, the Rebel 105.9 FM, LCNB, and Bethesda, Warren County. We want to thank all those sponsors.
We really do want to thank them because they really helped this be the great celebration it's going to be. After this parade, of course, we have an afternoon of fantastic things going on at the Sports Center with the presentation at 1 and then the jazz concert. And then Mike Albert, an Elvis impersonator, will be there around 7. And then the balloon glow. We have as many as 15 hot air balloons going to light up the sky just as the sun goes down. It's going to be a fantastic day today.
And that's all happening out at the Sports Complex on McClure Road off of Route 42?
That's correct.
South.
Go south.
Okay.
Only about a mile or so, and there you are off to the right.
Well, normally we're doing parades in the middle of winter for the Christmas festival, but I think after 200 years, I think they had a parade on the 100th.
They sure did. A really long parade with a number of floats and bands.
And the 150th.
And the 150th, yes.
Right.
So we're following the tradition of the last 100 years of putting on a great parade celebrating the founding of Lebanon way back in 1802.
We have some special guests that we're going to be announcing while the parade passes by today, so pay special attention. We'll try to bring them to your attention. Normally, I tell you, don't run across the street because you're going to spook the horses, but that's not a problem today. I don't think we have any horses in the parade, do we?
I think there may be 1 or 2 horse-drawn vehicles, but not that many.
You're the historian. Why the size of this street? So many people, when they come to Lebanon, say this main street is immense. There was a plan for that. There was a reason why.
There was. When Lebanon was laid out in 1802, they planned about 6 or 7 streets. Only 2 had names, Broadway and Main. And they meant Broadway to be a Broadway. It was meant to be 1.5 times wider so that stagecoaches could turn around. So they planned that. And there really wasn't much of a town in 1802. We only had 2 cabins, but they had 100 lots all laid out.
So they could turn a complete stagecoach around in front of the Golden Lamb without any effort, and that was the reason why this is a big, beautiful street. In the background, you will hear the marching band, the Lebanon Warrior Marching Band, fresh off a victory last night over Beaver Creek.
That's right.
I don't remember the score, 21 to
14, was that 14, what it was?
I think, could be. But anyway, the victory is the victory. And the crowd joins in as the Dave Iannelli's group comes this direction. I might mention John Zimkus, also a history teacher for 200 years at Lebanon.
Well, this is 31 and counting.
31 years. A lot of these kids come back and you look at them and go, you were just a little kid. Now you're working on grandparenthood.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard the 3rd generation. I've had a number of 2nd generation students come in.
Right.
My mom, my dad said they had you in school.
Once the band reaches the center of town and turns up Mulberry, we'll just be quiet because we won't be able to be heard anyway. Let's hear it for the Lebanon High School Marching Band on a beautiful morning. This is a perfect morning for this parade, and a good crowd turned out, too. We thank you very, very much. One of Lebanon's finest, leading the parade as always.
You know, Marty Rowe was a member of this band when he went to Lebanon. Played the trumpet.
And played football for the Lebanon Warriors.
That's right.
We might mention that besides the band, Lee Wheaterhold been teaching for 35 years.
35
Next
years.
to the band. Here comes a truckload, actually an old Cadillac load.
The Bicentennial Committee. There's Liz Jorling and Liz Morris, Christy Hall, and former City Councilman John H. Duncan in front seat there.
And more of the Bicentennial Committee.
Gene Ponder. There's Jackson Hedges in the rumble seat there with Gil Gerard.
Won't be able to get out.
And
here's the mayor and City Councilman
Jim Norris and
Norris.
Lebanon teacher.
Mayor did a great job last night at the concert.
Exactly. I forgot we're going to have some beautiful cars here.
Councilman Pandorf. Here we have former
Jim
Mayor of
Lefevre.
Lebanon, Jim Lefevre, now the current Warren County Treasurer.
And you'd never know who might be coming here now, right? You'd have no clue with that sign. So small. Congressman Rob Portman.
There's the congressman in the red shirt.
Now,
You know, he's no stranger to Lebanon, you know.
I know. Congressman Portman, where is the yellow shirt? I mean, everybody, I'm looking for you and we can't see you.
Jane tells me I have to wear a different color so someone will notice me.
You had to wear a different color so somebody noticed you. Welcome back to Lebanon. Good to see you. Things going well.
Things are going great on a beautiful day like this. I love being home. I got to go back to Washington next week. It's going to be difficult. Great to see you.
Thank you, Congressman Portman.
You know, Congressman Portman's grandparents were the ones who made the Golden Lamb the famous inn that is today.
Exactly. And State Representative Tom Rega. Tom, welcome. Well, welcome home or welcome back. Now, I think that there's something about a BMW Warren County Sheriff's car.
It looks impressive.
And I think that Sheriff Tom Harris driving a BMW forfeited. Do you think that was picked up free of charge by the Warren
I
County
guess.
Sheriff's
Well,
Department?
we must thank someone for that.
Absolutely. State Treasurer Joe Dieters. And Joe's walking in the background back here.
Former
Again.
prosecutor of Hamilton County. Well known for that.
We've got yellow shirts on everybody but Mr. Dieters. Welcome to Lebanon.
Thanks for being part of our celebration.
You know, you can guarantee one thing at a parade, besides the band, politicians. They always show up for parades. But that's what it's all about, and we welcome them to downtown Lebanon. A lot of great-looking Cadillacs in this thing, too.
Here we have Mike Turner, candidate for the Congress for the 3rd Congressional District.
Now, is that a bicentennial shirt or what?
He's ready for
Great
the
shirt.
occasion.
Vote for Mike.
Former mayor of Dayton, 2 terms.
I'm not an aficionado of cars, so I don't know the year of that Cadillac. Does anybody knows that 60-something? 64? Thank you. Great car. Boy, they got a lot of representation in the parade.
Good support base.
This gentleman must have fallen out of the pickup. He's still chasing it. Can't quite get there.
Next we have Bob Schuler, the Ohio Senate candidate for the 7th District. Former state representative.
And everybody in the blue shirts except Bob Schuler. Welcome to Lebanon.
Thanks for coming.
This gentleman's got, what has he got here? See, we're checking out, thank you, Tootsie Rolls.
Thank you very much.
A GTO, you remember those days.
Here's Charles Sanders, candidate for the 2nd Congressional District.
From Waynesville, right up the road.
Very active in Warren County politics.
And a name that goes back for years in Lebanon history. The Kaufman family.
Robert Kaufman, former city council member and vice mayor. And William Kaufman, former city council member and mayor.
And municipal judge.
That's right.
And go back to A.B. Kaufman of Public Affairs for the Village of Lebanon, a founder of Kaufman's Department Store. That's the whole family.
I tell you, I always used to get my school clothes at Kaufman.
I did too. Everything. Shoes, the whole bit. The Cedar City Girl Scouts through the years. I guess this is covering all the way back in different outfits.
Scouting out the Ohio Territory.
Now, there's a wagon. Did you ride to school in a wagon such as that?
No, I did not.
Sorry about that.
I rode the mule.
I see. And when you came to Lebanon, you arrived in a covered wagon.
There you go.
Lebanon's early settlers.
1802.
Hi, kids.
That's a great looking display. Here comes Troop 7787. Happy birthday, Lebanon.
And Girl Scout Troop 7565.
And Girl Scout Troop 6880. Theme banners for the various times in Lebanon's history.
Girl Scout Troop 7789.
And Girl Scout Troops 2310.
Girl Scout Troop 229.
And then finally, Troop 7356, representing 1912 to 2002.
Kind of hard to see that sign, isn't it?
And then we have a Brownie Troop, 6673, looking very patriotic.
And in camouflage outfits, too. That's cool. The Lebanon Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 6069 Color Guard, and members of the Honor Guard. The Lebanon Post was established March 3rd, 1946. The oldest living charter member of the Post is Julian Perkins. Ladies Auxiliary at the VFW, Auxiliary 6069.
And the American Legion, Ralph J. Snook, Post 186.
I don't think I want to ask what's going on down the street, but I think it has to do with politics, don't you think? The American Legion Auxiliary, Unit 186. Gee, I wonder who this could be.
This is Tony Fisher, candidate for the 7th District of the Ohio State Senate.
Guy's handing out T-shirts. That's cool. And of course, probably, well, the oldest bank existing. Am I correct?
Yeah.
In Lebanon. And in Warren County, maybe.
That's right. It is celebrating its 125th anniversary this year.
Right.
The Lebanon...
We're going to talk over this?
I don't know. Should we...
Thank you. A little
Lebanon-
information on this thing.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Yes, the Lebanon Citizens Bank actually began across the street from where the bank now is in 1877. And then there was another bank called the Lebanon National Bank began then. And then the Lebanon Citizens Bank began in 1908. And the two merged in 1925. Lebanon's National Bank moved into the beautiful building we have across the street from us around 1907. And it is celebrating, as I said, its 125th birthday this year.
That's a 35-foot-long Brinks truck with courier cars. I think that holds something like 53 million pounds? Million's a little bit much. 53,000 pounds of money. Another LCMB vehicle. We do have horses in the parade. That's great. Boy, this is shades, John, of the Christmas parade. I really didn't know we were going to have horses in here. I should have known it.
Bubblegum?
Coming up now, Bravo Troop, 2nd Squadron, the 107th Cavalry, Ohio Army National Guard from Lebanon, here with a Humvee and a Hammett. The Hammett is the one in the background.
Oh, that's
It
impressive.
swims and does a lot of different things.
That is very impressive.
So, John, this brings back memories. This is a warm-up for our annual Christmas Festival Parade, our horse-drawn carriage parade.
It'll be the 14th annual this coming Christmas.
Kilburn Farms, Lesson, Maryland, donated this float driven by Jim Kilburn. Happy 200th birthday, Lebanon, from your 160-year-old Oddfellows and 118-year-old Rebecca's Lodge 15.
And here we have the county commissioners.
We have the county commissioners all
Right
decked
here.
out, looking
Next
good.
year, the county's bicentennial, 1803, big celebration
Mr.
next year.
Kilburn, Mr. Christenberry, Ms. South.
That's right. They're going to have a bell casting on May 2nd next year. Fantastic celebration. Well, there's...
It's summertime, and you're out already. It's Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Yes,
Welcome to
in
Lebanon.
their summer outfits.
Will you be back on December 7th? Okay. You're not delivering any presents this year. Okay. Except goodwill.
They're
Gary
probably
and
are
Judy
checking
Hopkins.
to see who's naughty or nice, though. They're probably
That's
watching
right.
out for that right now.
And B&B Carriage, the Rebel radio station, 105.9 FM.
And one of the
And there's
great
Christy.
sponsors of our bicentennial this year.
The Hen House.
Happy birthday, Lebanon!
Tomorrow, they're going to have a fantastic Battle of the Country bands over at the Sports Center.
That's
from
right.
1 till 7.
This is the Oddfellows I talk about, not the people on the thing, but the Oddfellows, 160-year-old, the Rebecca's, 118. None of you, is this the chamber? None of you look that old.
Hello, Wilma. There's the chamber, yes.
What, Wilma? 106, you look good. Okay. Bob Longo, his unicorn hitch. Ponies' names are Blaze, Ginger, and Sprite. Owned by Bob Longo, Lebanon, Ohio, driven by Myron Clevenger, and assisted by Roger Ritalik.
Four Seasons video.
Yeah, and a staple of every Christmas festival, Delbert Cook, Four Seasons video. I think his
Those are
no, that's
hard-working
not his
animals.
lovely wife in there. This must be the Ohio Horse Council. Welcome.
Very impressive.
Behind them is the Warren County Mounted Search. Is that what they called that?
Hey, what's Tom's
Yeah.
phone number? 6899479.
And of course, Warren County Communications do a great job
They do.
of work under all situations.
And if it wasn't for them, you and I'd be talking to each other, and that'd be it.
Well, that's true. And a float representing the Warren County Board of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities. That is on the ballot this coming year, this November. I
Asking
think.
your support for a replacement level.
Right.
Kimberly's Kinder Music. Being serenaded now by the members of Kimberly's Kinder Music.
They take children ages newborn through 7 years and now registering for the fall. This is the Masonic of Lebanon, representing the Lebanon Masonic Order. Men in tuxedos represent the Blue Lodge. Ladies represent the Order of Eastern Star. Men in red chapter, men in purple council and uniform commandery. I'm not sure what all that means, but
You know, the first
they look very
Masonic Lodge
dignified.
in Lebanon began in 1815.
Really?
1815. And the Eastern Star began in 1911 here in Lebanon.
This is the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution. This is a group that's been around a long,
That's
long time.
right. And we have the First Baptist Church, which is also celebrating its bicentennial. They became independent from Turtle Creek Church in 1802 and have been in their present house of worship since 1859.
People don't realize how old that church is. I mean,
We do have some very lovely old
Yeah.
churches in Lebanon.
now you'd never know they call themselves the Red Hat Ladies, would you?
I'm
They
not quite
debut
sure where they got that name.
over 4,000 chapters worldwide, getting dressed up to have fun and enjoying life.
Here come some recognizable characters. Scooby-Doo and Yogi, representing Kings Island. Home of two of the most fantastic wooden roller coasters in the world.
Paramount's Kings Island of Staple in Warren County.
They're going to have a Fear Fest this October.
Oh, is that a first for them?
I'm not quite sure it's the first, but it's going to have some scary zones and some scary rides.
Time Out for Kids. Kids from TV show Time Out for Kids who will be performing at the opening ceremonies. Hello, kids.
Mr. Slice from Papa John's.
Now, there's a bicentennial vehicle if you've ever seen one. That's great looking. This is a great group of hardworking guys who put a lot of hours into restoring antique farm tractors manufactured in the U.S. between the years 1925 and 1953. All the tractors are from the Fort Ancient Restored Machinery Club, and they just do a fabulous job. There's some beautiful tractors here.
There are.
They compete against each other. They work to win prizes, and they just have a great time. There's a lot of man hours goes into putting these together and putting them back together, I should say.
And their name spells out the word farm, Fort Ancient Restored Machinery.
That's why you're a teacher.
That's right.
You picked up
You
on
figure
that.
these things out.
There's
You
a-
know, in the Centennial Parade, there was a large farm float in which the members of the Farm Association had people sitting at a table, and they had a big banner saying, "We eat the best and sell the rest."
Seriously, that's great. There's Mr. Biggs on his McCormick Farm All. These are beautiful. There's a 47 John Deere. Trying to read the dates on some of these.
I think that one says 1919, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it did too. 1957, that's almost new. These things have probably, they've been so well rebuilt, they'd probably plow a field today.
Oh, they look great.
McCormick Deering, look at that one.
That's
Check the
it.
age out.
That one looks old.
I don't know how old it
1930, it says.
is. Is it? $1936.
McCormick Deering Farm All. And
Here comes a brand new GMC Elgin sweeping the street.
There you go.
There's an Oliver. I don't know if I saw an Oliver earlier.
Followed by another John Deere.
You notice the racing helmet on the guy on the last tractor? That's the sheer
But
speed.
it does have that sort of streamlined racing look
Yes,
to
it does.
Aerodynamic.
I'm not even sure what is that an Oliver? I didn't catch the name of that one, but that is streamlined looking.
Mike, have you seen this quilt before?
No.
This
yes,
is
I
Bob
have.
Mullins, and he made this quilt himself, and it has every name of every person who died on September 11th on it.
Let's thank Bob Mullins for his hard work on the memorial quilt.
And it's
Thank
a
you, Bob.
fantastic job. Bob's an employee of the Lebanon City School District, part of our maintenance and custodial staff.
Well, we got another. Santa just ran back and jumped on this one.
Yeah.
This is the Beach Water Park Holiday Fest this year, November
That's
29th
right.
through December the 31st. They're kicking off their festival a
One of
little
the
early.
top 5 water parks in the nation, the
That's
beaches.
right. LoveQuest Children's Foundation provides therapeutic horseback riding for persons with disabilities. Now, you kids
Old
be
Country
careful when
Buffet in
you.
a Jeep.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what? You know why a Jeep's called a Jeep?
No.
It's a military general purpose vehicle, a GP.
That's why you're the history guy. Hey, good victory last night, Coach. Coach Dave Broush, the Lebanon Warriors.
You know, he's in his 8th season now, and his record with the Warriors is now 67-17, taking him to 5 straight playoffs, and including 4 league titles,
State championship.
and the state championship in '98. Fantastic.
We've got Model T Ford Touring, 1914, Model A Ford, 1929. Now, I don't remember any of these, of course. A 1930 Ford Model A. I'm announcing these as they hit the corner here, folks, so if you're trying to figure out which one I'm talking about. This is a late 1931 Model A quarter-ton pickup. Last year, a production, very rare. 4-foot bed, 19-inch wheels, metal top, and there goes all of our information. But that's okay. We'll be fine. Don't go after it. We'll just make it up as we go along.
And that's James Norris Sr. driving that last.
That's right. Representing the United States Marine Corps. 1947 Jeep. Wow, you don't see one that old. They don't look a lot different from now. Thank you, gentlemen. They're just going to end up on the floor again, so.
Now, did you?
Now,
have
I
a car
do
like
remember this car.
that? No, that looks like the car that was in Rain Man.
Could be a 1949 Chevrolet convertible. Great looking car, followed by a 1950 Ford Coupe. Now that is an original 56 Ford Victoria. Isn't that a great looking car?
That is
See, John,
fantastic.
you and I remember all these cars. A 65 Dodge Cornet station wagon owned by Stuart Campbell of Lebanon, whose grandfather bought it in 1967. Isn't that great looking? 67 Oldsmobile 442 convertible. That went from 0 to 60 very quickly.
Now, that's the car I wanted in high school right there.
A 69 Chevy Camaro Rally Sport convertible, 350 horsepower, fuel-injected engine driven by the sales staff at Trim Parts. And there's another great car, 65 Mustang, 78 Chevy Corvette, followed up by an Olds 98. And this is more your era coming up here, so you can... I'm sorry, John. I'm giving you a bad time today. That a great looking, what is that, a Packard?
Yeah, from the Warren County
Center.
Career Center.
That's right. You got any information on
Representing the Lions Club is
Yep,
this old
Lebanon
fire
Lions
engine.
Club. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little early. Coming up on this, I think it's the Gray Pumper here, is Battalion 9 Chief Charles Williams from the New York Fire Department. and his grandson Kevin. They've been invited here for our bicentennial. They're riding on the gray unit, so welcome them to Lebanon, Ohio. Okay, I was wrong on that one. Get ready to applaud again. This must be. Okay, I stand corrected. This is Battalion 9 Chief Charles Williams from the New York Fire Department.
Welcome to Lebanon.
Welcome, Chief Williams, and his grandson Kevin. Boy, that's the newest unit, that E41, I think. That's a beauty. Those things cost a little bit of money.
I would imagine.
I'm really glad they don't have their sirens blazing right now. I didn't know we had so many fire trucks.
You know, we owe so much to these people. They do so much
Absolutely.
for our city and our community. Now that must be the biggest one they have. 110
Just
foot
as soon
ladder.
as you say that, we'll correct you on this. You know that. The Carlisle Fire Rescue Team, welcome to Lebanon. We have some visiting fire departments here.
This one seems to have a hitchhiker in front.
That's right. Carlisle's Fire Department. I always wonder if they get a call. They got to move.
They do. Hamilton Township coming up next. I've never seen one of those things in front. Is that
Oh, but if it was behind you, you'd probably see
yes,
it.
you would notice that.
Especially at night.
Yeah.
And Clear Creek,
Clear
represented, of course. And, of course, this is an older GMC from Hunter. You ever
Followed
see,
by-
I'm sorry, I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to ask you if you ever saw a dirty fire truck. I don't think I ever have.
I mean, they have to keep their equipment very clean and ready for use. So they take a great deal of pride in what they use and all their
And
equipment.
Fireman from Franklin Township.
We really appreciate all the other communities coming and being part of this
Exactly.
bicentennial for Lebanon.
John, what time do activities get underway out at the sports complex today?
Well, at 1 o'clock today, we're going to have
Okay.
the opening ceremonies, and I invite everyone to come because we'll have some major addresses by some of the important dignitaries here. And
The Wayne Township Fire Department.
And then shortly after that, we'll have our first of several concert groups performing. The
Right.
Lebanon Jazz Company. There'll be a swing band and an historic dance.
And the Battle of the
troupe.
Bands.
And the battle bands will be on Sunday from
Right.
1 until 7. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, we have Mike Albert, one of the premier Elvis impersonators, will be performing, followed by the Balloon Glow at 9 o'clock.
And come on out. The sports complex is located just off of Route 42 on McClure Road, just south of town.
Just south of town, only
Yeah.
about 2 miles south.
So thank you all for coming to the parade. We're going to be opening the streets shortly. We remind you every year that we will open the streets, and if you're standing out in the middle of the street, you'll find it out. So thank you. For the Lebanon Telecommunications System, John Zimkus, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. This is my
And-
first parade, and I appreciate being part of it.
Well, are we going to make it to what's the next one? 250?
250.
I'm not going to be here.
I don't. Well,
No.
I could be 103 or so.
You're lying, too. Thank you very much. And for the Lebanon Telecommunications System, for John Zimkus, I'm Mike McMurray. Have a great day.
Thank you, and welcome to Lebanon Sports Complex. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mayor Amy Brewer, and I'm here representing the city on this most beautiful and spectacular day here. This is our second day. Last night we kicked off our Bicentennial celebration with a fabulous concert by Diamond Rio. Packed house, just terrific. And so here we are in the second day, proving to have a great day with lots of things going on. And right now we'd like to open up our ceremonies here. As you can see, we have many, many wonderful people on stage, and we'll do quite a bit of introductions here. But one of the first things I want to do to start that off is our national anthem, and I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to you Holly Recker, who will come up and sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the peril's last fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And you know what? It's nothing like a child. I'm a teacher in this school district, and kids are my number one priority. And beautiful, Holly, to start the program off with the national anthem. I'd like to bring up next Lindsay Smith, who will be giving our invocation.
Let's bow our heads, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, we love you and we thank you for this opportunity that we have to draw together, Lord, to celebrate 200 years of your blessing. We thank you, Father, for this incredible weekend that you have given us. Lord, as we take into consideration remembrance of all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon this community. And Father, I pray that you would just bestow continual blessings upon the citizens of this community and upon the leadership of this community, that we would continually look to heaven and know that you are the hand that guides us. Father, I just stand upon your word that tells us that whatever we are, whatever successes that we have enjoyed, whatever accomplishments that we have made, Father, whatever good that we have done, whatever good that we have become, it has been because of the hand of God being upon us. We give you the glory for it, Lord, for it has been because of the works of men and because of the grace of God that we can stand here today and celebrate the success, Lord, of this city. And we just pray that your blessings would be upon all of the festivities, Lord, of this entire weekend, that everything that is said and done, Lord, in the midst of us would bring glory to our Father above. And we give you all the praise and the glory for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
A lot of work has gone into making this all happen, and part of that work that needs to happen is money and sponsorships. And without that, things can't happen. So I'd like to do some special recognition through plaques and T-shirts to recognize those businesses and groups that have been instrumental in being a part of making this bicentennial celebration such a success. So as I call your name, please come up here to receive your plaque and T-shirt. Western Star.
Are they all the same?
No. No, Western Star, right there. Thank you so very much. Rebel 105.9. Thank you very much. Thank you. And our own Lebanon Citizens National Bank. Thanks. Thank you. Also would like to recognize Cincinnati Bell, Synergy, and Tri-Health. Now, I'm going to introduce an individual right now who is one of the co-chairmen for the Bicentennial, teacher here in the, excellent teacher here in the Lebanon School District. He is the man that knows past, present, and future of Lebanon. May I introduce Mr. John Zimkus.
A century ago, for 3 days in September, the village of Lebanon celebrated its 100th birthday. The festivities began in the Opera House, which is where the city hall is now. Like today, we had political dignitaries that day. U.S. Senator Marcus Hanna, Ohio Governor George K. Nash, and the Ohio Secretary of State Louis C. Leland were here. The honor of giving what was called the Centennial Oration went to a man named William Henry Venable. Born in a log cabin in northern Warren County in 1836, he was educated in Alfred Holbrook's National Normal University in Lebanon and was a prominent lecturer and writer. Although he was all but forgotten now, he was said to rank among the first of Ohio's most honored educators and authors. He began his oration by saying, "Lebanon, how pleasantly upon the ear falls the sound of that melodious Oriental word." There must have been a poetical strain in the sober-minded backwoodsmen who christened the town. The corporate seal, which they ordered to be engraved as emblem, shows as its center the semblance of a cedar, and we infer that whoever gave the place its name had in mind the Asian mountain province whence Solomon and the kings of Assyria hewed timbers to build their temples and royal palaces. The roster of the worthies of this new promised land in Warren County reads like the list of the generations from the sons of Noah. I find in our early chronicles Ichabod, Ephraim, David, Matthias, Isaiah, Benjamin, Samuel, Jacob, Israel, Joshua, and Moses. Men who bore up upon the weight of such nomenclature were of the strength to lay the axe to the trees of the forest and to saw with saws the rocks of the white quarries of Lebanon. Venable was very correct in saying the people who first settled Lebanon, the men and the women, were strong. 200 years ago, men like Ichabod Corwin and Samuel Manning, Ephraim Hathaway, and Silas Shuren came from New Jersey and Pennsylvania, bought land in a northern part of what was then called the Sims or Miami Purchase. And in September of 1802, the four men laid out 100 lots, cradled between the forks of Turtle Creek and its northern fork. Of those 100 lots, however, only 2 cabins existed. 9 streets were planned, but only 2 had names, Broadway and Main. The borders was to the north, Silver Street, to the south, South Street, to the west, Water Street, and to the east, the alley between Cherry and East Street. Lebanon looked quite different in those days. It was a primitive forest of wild cherry and black walnut, giant sycamores, elms, and sugar maples. There was a thick undergrowth of spice brush, which made walking through Lebanon almost impossible. Bear, deer, panther, wildcat, otter, beaver, porcupine, wild turkey were all in abundance. Wolves were a menace and had a bounty placed on them. Squirrels were such a pest and their numbers so great as to mimic some sort of biblical plague, had a tax placed on their scalp. Every citizen had to bring in so many squirrel scalps per year. On May 10th of 1803, Lebanon became the temporary county seat. The Black Horse Tavern, located where the Lebanon Citizens National Bank now is today, in Lebanon, was where the Black Horse Tavern was originally located. December 23rd of that year, in 1803, Jonas Seaman walked over to the Black Horse, spent $4, which would be about $63 in today's money, for a license for a house of public entertainment. He was opening up a tavern, and he called it the Golden Lamp. Today, of course, that is Ohio's oldest inn. In 1805, Lebanon was selected as the permanent county seat, and the following year, a permanent courthouse was built where the city building is today. Almost 2 years to the day, on Friday the 13th in 1807, the Western Star opened up. It did not prove to be an unlucky day, for it is today Ohio's oldest weekly newspaper and believed to be the oldest weekly newspaper still publishing west of the Allegheny Mountains. Lebanon produced Thomas Corwin, a nephew of Ichabod, one of the town's founders. He would serve Lebanon as a United States congressman, as governor of the state, as a U.S. senator, as minister to Mexico, and as secretary of the Treasury of the United States. In 1855, a man named Alfred Holbrook came, started the school called the Southwest Normal School. It became the National Normal School and eventually the National Normal University. For 62 years, this college existed in Lebanon, as many as 2,000 to 3,000 students per year, 80,000 at the end of its 62-year run, producing such people as Cordell Hull, Secretary of State for Roosevelt during World War II, the man who's credited with being the father of the United Nations. A.B. Graham, founder of the 4-H Club, and Myers Y. Cooper, governor of the state of Ohio. In 1902, Russell Wright was born in Lebanon. This industrial designer of place settings and furniture and silverware blazed the trail for people like Ralph Lauren, Bill Blass, and even Martha Stewart, being the first one to make a living selling his name on the products he designed. Lebanon produced a lot of firsts. Francis Dunleavy in 1797 wasn't just the first teacher in what would be Lebanon or Warren County. He was the first teacher in the entire Miami Valley, coming up from Columbia on the banks of the Ohio. Louisa Jury Wright in 1867 became the first female superintendent of schools of Lebanon. And under her guidance, we had our first high school graduates, 3 girls. Eleanor Ullum became Lebanon's first female mayor about 25 years ago, blazing the trail for our current mayor. And our past mayor, James Mills, became the city's first African-American mayor. Lebanon has produced its share of showbiz talent. In the late 19th century, we had opera singer Laura Bellini, who was born with the name of Woolline, and her sister, Dolly Noble. The African-American community of Lebanon produced Jesse Morton Jones, who performed in New York in jazz clubs under the name of Gene Starr. The class of 1979 produced 2 major stars of show business. Marty Rowe, who we saw last night give a fantastic concert, the lead singer of Diamond Rio, the most awarded country music band of the 1990s, winner of 6 Vocal Group of the Year awards, 4 from the Country Music Association, and 2 from the Academy of Country Music. And just this morning in the paper I read Diamond Rio was nominated again. Also receiving 8 Grammy nominations. That same class produced Woody Harrelson, famed TV and movie actor who won an Emmy for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy in 1989 for Cheers, and was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in 1997 for The People vs. Larry Flint. Twice our fair city was deemed pretty enough and talented enough to be in the movies itself. Lebanon played Harper Valley, Ohio, in the movie Harper Valley PTA in 1978. Then Lebanon stretched its acting talent and skills portraying Middleton, Pennsylvania, and pretending that cold October nights were in fact balmy summer evenings in 1994 for Milk Money. The generosity of Lebanon's citizens is legendary, beginning with Mary Ann Klingling, this German-born lady who died in 1867, leaving $40,000 for the orphans of Warren County, would be the equivalent of $500,000 today. In 1862, William Elmer Harmon was born. He spent the first half of his life making money and the second half of his life giving it away, beginning with Lebanon. He bought the books and the furnishings for the Lebanon Library when it first opened up in 1908. He purchased and built Harmon Hall, which now houses the Warren County Historical Society Museum. And he gave Lebanon 88 acres for a park and a golf course, the first of 119 parks he would build in 34 different states. The 20th century benefactors who followed in their footsteps include the late Ralph J. Stolley, George Hinkle, and Marvin Barney Young. Barney Young is part of a family which has devoted its life to serving its community, with multiple generations serving in a variety of county positions. The Maple family also has served in many positions, from village government to education to community history. But the amazing thing is 3 generations in succession together provided 66 years of continuous service on the Lebanon Library Board of Trustees. If I have forgotten someone who is your favorite, I apologize, because there are so many people I could be talking about. There are so many things in our town we can be proud of. Our award-winning city school district, our 4 historic districts in the National Register of Historic Places, our very impressive Warren County Historical Society Museum, our stately Glendower Memorial, our beautiful downtown business district, and we are the envy of all cities, large and small, with our fantastic Ralph J. Stolley Countryside YMCA. I would like to close with another excerpt of Venable's centennial speech. Although written a century ago, his sentiments ring true today as we celebrate Lebanon's bicentennial. Lebanon, rural yet urban, calm, conservative, dignified borough teeming with historic associations, rich in an heritage of culture and eloquence, celebrated for social charm and amenity. We have assembled to commemorate her past achievement, to rejoice in her present prosperity, to predict her future success and affluence. To many of the men and women here congregated, the occasion has a personal and sacred interest. Lebanon is, or was, their home, the birthplace of their children, the burial place of their ancestors. We have come together to talk over the bygone, to recount the annals of the village, scene of our struggles, triumphs, defeats, theater of our loves and our sorrows. Your town, my town, dear old Lebanon.
Obviously, John Zimkus. John, you do such a fabulous job. I could sit here and just listen to you for hours. And any of you out there that had John Zimkus as a teacher, I'm going to tell you what, you learned a tremendous amount. I'm going to do another introduction here. We are going to be here today to enjoy all these festivities. We're going to eat this great food. We're going to listen to wonderful music. We're going to see a balloon glow tonight. And I want to tell you what, the work, the enjoyment that you're going to have today is only because of men and women who have done a tremendous amount of work to make this all happen for you. And I have a special privilege to introduce our Bicentennial Committee. They have been working probably at least 2 years, if not more. What? 4 years. One of the committee members has reminded me, 4 years. Tremendous amount of work has been done. So I would like to introduce to you, start out with our co-chairs, and if you would please stand, Christy Hall and John Zimkus. Jack Hedges, Liz Morris, Liz Jorling, Jean Ponder, Gil Gerard. And I hope I did not miss anyone. Okay, thank you so very much. Also, now I would like to introduce a few of my fellow council members, current council members that are here as well. Obviously, very supportive of all the functions within the city. And if you would stand, we have Council Member Jim Norris and Council Member Jim Haas. Council Member Pandorf was here earlier riding in the parade. I don't know if he's arrived yet, and if you have, also to let you know that he's here as well. Also would like to, and I believe we have 2 former council members that are here, and I want to do a special recognition of those. I had an honor and a privilege to serve with both these individuals. Jack Hedges, who was our former mayor and council member, and Gil Gerard. Long time. Gil, how many years? 22 years, if you would both stand. As I said, a privilege to serve with these 2 individuals. Thank you. Next, I'd like to bring up Tom Deagle. And he's going to do some special recognitions.
Yeah, there's several people here. I think the mayor and Karen out there, they think I'm a public speaker. Well, they're wrong. I'm just a guy that keeps the lights on throughout the week. Back in September, after the events of September 11th, myself, along with Kathy Gerhardt from the police department and several other city employees, we were honored to represent the city on 2 separate relief trips to New York City. We met a lot of good people up there, a lot of firemen, and we visited a firehouse in Manhattan near Times Square, Battalion 9, Engine 54 and Ladder 4. Well, when the celebration was coming up, we was wanting to bring somebody in from that firehouse to make a presentation to them. A lot of you know Bob Mullins that works for the schools, an amazing fella that if you get a chance, stop down and see the big 9/11 quilt that he made with all the victims' names on it. It's absolutely beautiful. After sharing of our trip with him, he decided to make a New York City Fire Division quilt as well. So a couple months ago, we started talking about trying to get somebody from the New York City Fire Department in here for a presentation, and it just wasn't working out at the time. Well, a week ago, me and Kathy's talking on the phone, and we said, heck with it, let's just make this happen. So to make a long story short, with the help of the Fraternal Order of Police and the Fraternal Order of Eagles from Lebanon, with their donations, we were able to make this kind of a dream of ours happen. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce first Battalion 9 Chief Charles Williams from the New York City Fire Division. Also, Bob, I know Bob Mullins, he's coming here somewhere. I'd like Bob to come up and make the presentation.
Charles, how you doing? I'd like to present this for you to take back to New York, hang in your station so that they won't be forgotten. I appreciate you coming down.
Now I'd like to have Chief Williams share a few words with us.
I don't know where to start. To Bob, thank you so much for this quilt. I'll make sure it finds a deserving spot in the firehouse, and we're very proud to hang it. I want to thank Tom and Kathy for making this happen in such short notice. I'm I'm very honored to be here. I'm glad that I was able to get over and visit Lebanon. The city's been great. The people have been great. I know this has been a difficult time for you with the tragic loss you had this past week. And with September 11th coming up, the people in New York are pulling together, and with your support and the support of the rest of the country, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this honor, and it's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce some of our very special dignitaries that are here, and it's an honor and a privilege to have each and every one of them. I'd like to start off on the list with introducing two of our wonderful Warren County Commissioners, Pat South and Larry Christenberry. I'd like for you to come up and just say a few words.
Thank you, Amy. On behalf of all Warren County, congratulations on your birthday, Lebanon, Ohio, and how proud we are to have you and to be in the county seat. Now, Amy, we promised this would be short, and it's rather hot when you're sitting in this front row. So I'm going to let Pat say a few words. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Lebanon. I tell you what, you've got a fantastic weekend. Your committee, your council, your residents, and all of the volunteers, and especially your sponsors, are to be commended as to what you've put together for a spectacular bicentennial celebration for Warren County's seat, Lebanon, Ohio. We as county commissioners are certainly very proud of you, proud of Lebanon. As a Lebanon resident, it's very heartwarming to be able to participate today. And the precedents that you all are setting today is just a moving momentum into the celebration that our entire county will be doing next year for our 200th bicentennial birthday for our entire county. Lebanon started growing and welcoming new residents to her borders and to the city of Lebanon back in the early 1700s, and it hasn't stopped, and it never will, even when we're here for the triennial, well, when our descendants are here for the triennial celebration. Have a lot of fun. It's been great so far. The concert, the theater last night, you're all to be commended. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I also have the honor and privilege to introduce to you our state representative, our unbelievable state representative, Tom Raga.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm not sure I have to say anything after that introduction. I'd like you to stay up here with me. I have brought with me a commendation that comes to you on behalf of the entire House of Representatives, and certainly with the bicentennial of the state of Ohio coming next year, of Warren County coming next year, how fitting is it that Lebanon arrives there 1 year early. And I have, we'll read it in part, and it's on behalf of the members of the Ohio House of Representatives to the city of Lebanon, and in part says, America is only as strong as our individual communities, which are unique and which make a significant contribution to the culture of our state and nation. The bicentennial of the city of Lebanon offers local citizens the opportunity to share their memories and experiences and reflect on the benefits of life in their close-knit community. For they have built on the best traditions of the past to ensure a future filled with hope and promise. And it's signed by the Speaker of the Ohio House, Larry Householder, and myself. And I think that the time that I've spent in Lebanon and the time that I spend in Warren County, Lebanon is truly unique. It has a unique, close-knit structure. It's different from any other community, and it has a great future because the leadership of Lebanon and our county commissioners have set it up that way. And I'm glad to be part of the future of Lebanon. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
As I said, Lebanon is truly blessed by the representation of Tom Raga. Another introduction. I'd like to introduce to you Mike Turner, was a fellow mayor, City of Dayton, and is a candidate for United States Congress, 3rd District. And it's an honor and a privilege to have you.
Thank you. Well, as September 11th approaches, it is certainly important for us as our communities and our country to come together. With this celebration, your community is coming together to celebrate our freedoms and the blessings that we have had both as your community and our country. And I want to congratulate your mayor and your council persons, your committee, and your county commissioners for a wonderful celebration and the accomplishments this community continues as it continues to grow and prosper. Next year, we will be celebrating the Bicentennial of the state of Ohio. In addition to that, we'll have the opportunity to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Wright brothers' accomplishment of flight. And I invite all of you to the city of Dayton for that celebration, which will be a national celebration of accomplishment of 2 Ohioans. And today I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, as I look out here, I always try to make sure that I am including everyone and thanking everyone and acknowledging everyone. And I need to do one more. I need to do another recognition, and that is to, as Karen Patton is walking off, getting ready to do something else. Karen Patton is our marketing coordinator, and she has done a spectacular job along with all of our staff, our Parks and Recreation staff, our telecom staff, everyone. Done a spectacular job to help in pulling this together. So obviously a special thank you to them as well. And also, as Mr. Zimkus, John Zimkus is sitting up here, I take a look out into the audience and sitting there. And of course, he may not. John Zimkus is a very humble man. But we do have, I consider to be somewhat of a celebrity. His son, Charlie Zimkus. And if you take a look at our booth down there, you will see one of many things you've seen. His design for our T-shirt, as well as designs you see here on T-shirts and cups and things like that. And Charlie is truly inspirational and a true artist. And you also are a part of our significance as well here in the community. Wanted to recognize you as well. Okay. Oh, now he's clapping over here. Thank you, John. All right. Another introduction here, and I'm truly looking forward to this. God Bless America, to be sung by children from the TV show Time Out for Kids.
This past week, 2 young girls, Brandy and Katie, died in a fatal car accident. The Time Out for Kids would like to dedicate this song to them. God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light.
Great job. Great job. Okay. Well, the end of our opening ceremonies, it's drawing to an end, but it's just the beginning for the rest of the day and the evening and tomorrow as well. So as a final salute, I believe there are balloons out back. Send them on up. And thank you all for being here. And please enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for being here.